Alright, what up guys? So there were a few things that I left out of my Falcon Talk video that I think are pretty important. They're mostly like small tips and tricks that might not be too obvious when you play. But the most important thing I want to talk about is going to be at the very end, and that's going to be how to play to the stage that you're playing on. Especially versus spacies, like 3 out of the 6 stages are like bad for you. 3 out of the 5 starter stages are bad for you. So you really want to be able to play to each stage. Meaning like you want to utilize each stage's unique advantages and do the best you can to avoid all the disadvantages that come with each stage. Versus spacies, like, and just like other characters like Sheik or Marth, it's really not that. Falcon doesn't really have any terrible stages, aside from getting chain grabbed on FD by like Peach. But other than that, it's like, or Pikachu, I guess. But other than that, like, every stage is like pretty good for Falcon, just in like a general sense. It's just better for other characters, maybe. But if you're playing to every stage's unique advantages, you can really like, you can take your opponent by surprise at how ineffective the stage is working against you, or how their counter pick is working against you. So that I felt is like worth a separate video all entirely. So I'm just gonna do all the stuff that I forgot to do in my first video. Alright, so first thing is when you drop through a platform and you want to do an up air, when you do your up air right away, it covers the platform like this. It covers like the top of the platform. But you'll notice that when you're landing, you're not covering the space in front of you. So if I'm trying to hit Falco, aka I'm trying to protect this space underneath me where I'm gonna land, dropping through and doing an up air is is not effective. It doesn't cover me at all. The early hitboxes come out in the front, but they don't stay out, and like the backwards hitboxes don't really do anything in terms of protecting me. You can fall through and like time your up air, but that's a little slow, and we could just do better. So what you could do is if you press down to drop and then immediately press down again. So I do a double flick down. You can get a hitbox that's just up off the ground. Like you see here. And this will work on any stage. On Dreamland, when you do it with the same timing, it's a little higher, but it still does a good job covering in front of you. This applies for shield dropping with your up air as well. My controller can't shield drop, so I can't show you that reliably, but you'll wanna, if you shield drop up air a lot, you wanna practice doing the double flick down to do a fast fold up air in order to cover that space where you're landing, where the opponent will try to approach very often. It's something I don't really see anybody doing. I think it's pretty important, especially with shield dropping nowadays. Another thing is it's pretty common if you watch the top Falcons, but it might not be obvious to newer people, is you can fall through like the side platforms like even on like Yoshi's where it's really low, and then do an aerial. You just gotta time it for before you land. This can kind of catch people off guard. If you do it earlier, if you press your aerial before you pass the platform, you're gonna land on the platform like that. So yeah, that's something you should also practice. Another thing with platforms is you can use the side platforms to kind of do a tricky approach, and this is something SCJ does a lot. From the side platforms, you can like nair an opponent on the other side. You could put a nair into center stage. You could do any kind of up air through the platform, like under your ground. So if you're like a platforming kind of Falcon, that's a good thing to remember that you can do. And when you hit someone with it, like, it kind of adds to the feeling that Falcon's just like everywhere and he can hit you at any time. Yeah, and you can get creative with this. I don't utilize it too much myself, just because I'm more of a like grounded and air-based Falcon, not really platform Falcon. But yeah, feel free to get creative with like how you can use platforms to approach in different ways. One more thing you can do is when you wave land off platforms. I know some people are really good at this. I don't really practice this too much myself. But you can mix up when you put out your aerial and if you fast fall or not, and which aerials you use. And by mixing, and like drifting, and by mixing those up, you can cover very different zones. So if you do like a late slow back air, you're putting out your hitbox all the way out here, like all the way out here. But if you drift inwards as soon as you wave dash off, some lag. And fast fall, then you can put it like you put out your hitbox. You can put out your hitbox like right here. Same is true for up air. If you do a slide off fast fall up air, you can put out a low hitbox that covers the ground in front of you really quickly. You can put it out like right here, or if you don't fast fall and time it and do a late up air, you can pull one out all the way back here. You can do this with single hit nair too, which acts as like a jab, which can be a good anti-air. Covers a lot of space. You can fast fall it too. You can do it with knee as well. And the like spacing mix-up is pretty strong. You can do one like right in front of the platform, like right here, or you can do one all the way back in center stage from like here. There's a lot of Falcons who are doing like well, I just see some Falcons doing like the same kind of aerials all the time, and they'll get called out for it by like Plup and other people. But Falcon has more mix-ups than that, and like how you can mix up your timing and your spacing helps a lot in making your platform stuff less predictable. You can also stomp through platforms, and this will work on Fox on like Battlefield. On Battlefield, it's hard. You just have to get like the lowest stomp hitbox. This is something you should practice too, because it can make the difference between an opening and getting hit. Fox is a little shorter than Falco, but you can stomp him through battlefield platforms if he's running, if he's dashing around here, if you get the lowest stomp hitbox. If you get anything other than the lowest, like these, it'll probably miss. And then those stomps are easier on Yoshi's and on FOD, and they're easier versus taller characters to hit, but that's something to keep in mind as well. There's a lot of ways you can be tricky on platforms. I think that's what I wanted to cover for platforms. In my last video, I kind of briefly touched upon platform tech chasing, but frankly, there's not really a reliable setup for platform tech chases that like give you an adequate amount of time to like get to where you're going. But some stuff, like if you can get there fast enough, is like hovering over people with a double jump and then fading in a direction, or drifting in a direction to cover a tech roll. And if you're trying to go for a tech roll, you can cover both tech roll options on reaction, because tech rolls are just so slow. If they tech in place though, it's going to be a lot harder. You'll have to like fast fall with an up air or something, or do like an instant up air if you're on the ground. If you're like hovering right below a platform, you can do like a nair to like kind of cover all the options, and you kind of have to react a little. It's best if you're in the air already, so you don't have to go through 4 frames of jump squat, and you can just immediately put out the nair when they start their tech, and you're reacting to it. So, you know, it's a lot of platform tech chasing is really dependent on the timing in which you can get there. So you'll mostly just have to be creative with it. Although those are some reliable ways if you're able to get there on time. Like if you stomp them and they're going to land on the platform. You can also wavelength down and re-grab. That's the thing. And if they tech roll, you can also run off, push them off, and do a back air. That's something no Falcons really do. Lord has done it in his highlight videos, but that's about it. If you do a wave land and they tech rolled, you can push them off as well and instantly do a knee. That's the Lord clip. Okay, I think that covers it for platform stuff. Shield poke stuff. Okay, so Falco, if you see Falco here, his head is like barely covered by the shields, and this is infinite shields toggled on. In a real game, infinite shields won't ever be on, so if even for like a half a second Falco's holding his shield, if you do a full hop or a short hop knee without fast falling, you can pretty reliably poke him. It kind of looks like that. This CPU's like programmed to shine out a shield, but even when going for the no fast fall knee, you can still avoid the shield grab or the shine out of shield if you drift backwards. So this works against Falco and Marth usually. It can also work versus Fox, but he'll have to be holding shield longer. But Falco and Marth, specifically in the top tiers, have pretty bad shields in the sense that their head pokes out. Yeah, so this is Marth's full shield, and if you're like right here, you can poke this pretty easily. When I'm playing versus real people, it usually gives me a hard knee, and I don't think I'm fast-falling it. But, like doing it now, I get soft knee quite a few times, not all the times. But yeah, your results may vary. But if like you're playing versus the shielding type, it might be like something good to go for. And it's looking like through these tests that it's easier to poke if you're behind them, but you can also do it if you're in front of them, or like right on top of them. Yeah, so if they're not angling their shield, that's something you can go for. And you can just straight up kill somebody for shielding. Other than that, there are other interesting ways to shield poke. Infinite shield, please. Okay, so you can space an up air to get it, to shield poke. This is a good up air to go for because the back end of the up air around this timing, like the hitboxes a little after this, can pretty reliably poke feet if you space it well. So like that. That's like that's like a safe way. But you can also knee some people. On Battlefield, it's a little harder because your knee just pokes out this much. I think some characters might have feet like collision hitboxes that like their feet are a little higher off the platform, so this knee doesn't connect. But versus like spacies, it can connect, you just have to be very precise. I swear to God this connects. I could be wrong. Maybe Falco's an exception. This works on Foxes though. But it's pretty hard, it's not that reliable. What's more reliable is if you stomp. Stomp gives you this hitbox, which is also very pointy and can poke feet. It pokes Marths. A lot of characters, Falcons, a lot of characters have hitboxes or shields that don't fully cover their feet. So when they're on a platform, you can go for stuff like that. Okay, this was something I could have thrown into the platform thing, but if you do a shield drop, you'll see none do this. If you roll to the sides on Battlefield or Dreamland, and you do you're holding all the way away towards the edge. If you do a shield drop and do a back air, the back air will edge cancel and you'll grab the ledge for free. You don't have to do anything else other than hold away. You can also fast fall it to grab the ledge a little faster as soon as you edge cancel it. This works on Dreamland as well, which I can show. But I think but I think it's just those stages. Unless FOD, you can on like the highest platform. What? Cool, okay. So it doesn't work on Dreamland's left platform because the left platform is a little shorter, actually, than the right platform. It doesn't go out as far near the edge as the other platform. This platform is longer, so it does work on this side. Damn. Held down when trying to fast fall. Yeah, the edge cancel's a little slower, but you can still do it if you're holding away. Only on that side, though. Oh, another thing, man, this should be in the platform section, but another thing is when you respawn on Dreamland and Fountain of Dreams, if you hold right or left, you can platform cancel any aerial. So if you did a knee, you'll platform cancel that. If you do a stomp, you'll platform cancel that. And you can basically put out 2 hitboxes and cover this kind of space, like right on the top platforms. And if you input a fast fall, then you can, like if you put out a knee, your knee will come out right at the bottom, right on the ground beneath this platform. I'll show you from the spawn platform. This works on both sides, left or right. Ah, crud. Yeah, so that's just like a free edge cancel you can get every stock. Let me show you the fast fall. I think I missed it there. If you time it right, it comes out, I did it just there, it comes out like right, oh my god, Falcon. It comes out like right at the very, it's like the latest knee. And you can catch people by surprise. A lot of people try to like cross up the stage so you can catch someone doing that. Or if they're trying to jump past you on the top platform, you can catch them with like a stomp coming down. Yeah. It's just that free highlight reel material if you're interested. Okay, the last thing for shield pokes. So we talked about poking people on platforms if their shield doesn't cover their feet well enough. You can also do this on the ground with stomp. When you stomp someone, the hitbox hits them. It registers very low, like this. A lot of people, like, their feet stick out in the back. So if you do the lowest stomp towards the back of their shield, you could poke them. I think S2J is the only one who does this. But if you can do this a couple times, your opponent will freak out and just feel like nowhere is safe from Falcon, which is how you should be making them feel all the time. So, you know, pretty great. Okay, let's talk stage differences. So, I would classify Yoshi's and Fountain as small stages. FD and Stadium are wide stages. And Battlefield and Dreamland are round stages. They're just kind of well-rounded, and they're the biggest stages in terms of like ceiling and like, yeah, walls. The Battlefield ceiling is just slightly shorter than, it's just slightly lower than Fountain's ceiling, which is really high still. So on small stages, the easiest way for Falcon to die, I'm suddenly lagging a lot and I don't like it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to do about that. But the easiest way for Falcon to die is getting him off stage and edgeguarding him. If you can avoid that, then you should be living to a much higher percentage every time. It should be very hard to kill you if your DI is good and you can get out of combos well with your DI. But like exchanges near the edge mean if you lose neutral here, suddenly you're off stage, and there are ways for every character to just guarantee an edge guard against you, unless you do like an amazing edge cancel or something. And even then they can like prevent you from doing that if they're more proactive. So what this means is on a small stage you really need to emphasize holding center stage. As Falcons, like Falcons are very aggressive and they just want to pressure, get in their opponent's face all the time, and they just want to attack. They're just always attacking, right? But Falcon is... There's also a lot of defensive Falcons, so... But like the thing is, playing defense here is not a good look either. And a lot of like defensive Falcons even, they'll just like camp over here trying to avoid people. But the thing is, like here, a mistake is going to cost you 3 times more than a mistake over here. And like in terms of defense, which is what we're looking for, if you're in the center, it's going to take a lot more to get you off stage. It's going to take a lot more hits if you're not high enough percentage, which you have chances of escaping with combo DI. And you also have all 3 platforms that you can potentially slide off of and reset your hit stun. Basically escape a combo for free. But when you're on the side, you don't really have any of that. You just have offstage. And once you're there, you can expect to die. With smaller stages, it basically means there's less center stage than anywhere else. And when there's less center stage, that means there's more edge. Like this is the edge, but like this is also the edge, like here. All of this, like everything underneath this platform constitutes being near the ledge. And you don't really want to be near the ledge. In terms of defense. In terms of offense, there's a lot of tech chase stuff you can do to cover every option if you are near the ledge. So, yeah, Falco landed a little center stage there. That was insane DI. Let's see if he DIs better. Okay, if Falco lands here, his tech roll away won't let him get far enough away from Falcon, and Falcon can re-grab that. So if I need tech in place right here, I can still do a dashing re-grab and grab tech away, and I can also grab tech roll in, because that's less distance covered. Generally, like in center stage, usually you can go for a knee, and that'll cover tech in place, and you can still re-grab tech in, but you can't cover tech out. But if they're near the ledge, which they will more frequently be near the ledge, you'll have more opportunities like this on smaller stages. It means you can cover every option, and you can basically make them die. You can make people die very quickly on small stages. And that's really Falcon's advantage on smaller stages. This also serves as like mental pressure. People will want to DI in more on smaller stages, because if they don't, they'll straight up die. Even if people do still DI away, if you hit them, they'll probably still die. Like if they're near the edge in any sense of the word. If they DI out, they're gonna die. If they DI in, then you can get another knee, and they're still gonna die. So you can really just make people die on this stage at Fountain of Dreams. I want to share one method of tech chasing, and that's with Raptor Boost. So if somebody techs, okay, I'll just show you with Falcon's character. So if somebody techs like here, or like here, around this zone, or even like here, if they don't have enough momentum to slide off and grab the ledge, which you can tell if they do or not based on their trajectory. Like say you up throw someone, and up throw sends kind of like up and then they fall down, so they can't really get a lot of horizontal momentum, as opposed to like down throw. If they DI away, they can get a lot of horizontal momentum. Keep that in mind as well as you set these scenarios up. But yeah, if they tech anywhere near like that area, what you can do is dash away if necessary, if they're too close to you. So here I would dash away like this much, and I'd immediately side B. And so long as they teched somewhere where so long as you're close enough to the edge where a Raptor Boost would reach the very end of the stage, like right there, you can cover every option with a well-timed Raptor Boost. This stage is lagging for me. I don't know why. Let's try Battlefield. Yeah, so I wasn't close enough to the edge there, so that's not a situation where Raptor Boost covers everything. I was a little late there. I'll try to do some of these just so you get an idea of like what this looks like, but know that it's guaranteed. Okay, I messed up there because I didn't dash far enough away. You need to be far enough away from where they tech, because Falco's tech roll invincibility, let's see here. Okay, that was a good pause, but Falco's tech, or just people's tech rolls, their invincibility runs out like before they reach the end of their tech. So if they tech roll in, Raptor Boost still covers it if you're far enough away, because as you pass them with the Raptor Boost, you're timing it in such a way that even if they tech roll in, their invincibility runs out before you pass them with the raptor boost. So you'll just hit them earlier. It's pretty easy to get used to the timing. I'm messing it up here because I'm recording. And it's also easy to recognize when it'll cover everything, and aka when to go for it. If you get it though, you don't always have the follow-up you can get off of that raptor boost depends on the situation. But generally if they like don't land on a platform, I mean like they can land on a platform, or they might not be enough hit stun at lower percents for you to knee them. But a lot of times you will be able to knee them, and they will die right away. So at those percents, you're basically setting up a free knee if you are in that situation. So if you're like a tech chasey kind of Falcon who's all about guaranteed stuff, this is a very good thing to go for. Like right there was an example of what I was talking about. The only thing you gotta be careful with when you're going for this is if you're too close to the ledge and they're going to slide off. It doesn't matter if you're close, so long as they don't slide off. But if you're too close and they do slide off, then you're gonna die, because you will fall off and then die. Yeah, so on smaller stages where you're closer to the edge, you'll have more opportunities to set that situation up. So those are the small stage advantages and disadvantages, and how to like utilize those so to make life easier on these stages. Some other platform or stage specific stuff. I'm not going to go into too many of these because I feel like a lot of these are pretty self-evident. Let's see, how do I set this up? Okay, if you get someone to land on a platform, like say they're going to land right here, you can tech chase with a knee. You can react with a knee to every option, to each tech roll. So if you get here, and you can do this by shield stopping, like right at this corner right here, if you stop right here, if you do a backwards jump knee, it'll cover tech roll in. And if you do a forward jump knee, it'll cover tech away. And if they tech in place, I think you can up air on reaction. Might be a little hard though. But a lot of people will tech roll, so just treat it as a read, and you can cover both tech rolls with a knee. If they tech in place, then they got you. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You can do this on any stage where knee will like reach through the platforms. Like you could do it on Stadium. You could do it on F Fountain at certain platform heights. What else can you do? I mean, you could do like stuff that most people know about, like this no impact land right here. You do a backwards jump. Woo! You could do a Silent Spectre. It's double jump, waveland sideways, slide off. You could do the Cloud Zero onto platforms, or the Wizzy Dash, and this works on all the slide platform stages, except Stadium. Yoshi specifically, you can do an easier perfect waveland because of the slanted edges. This is all pretty, like, straightforward stuff. But I thought I'd at least mention it. On this stage, the floor is kind of high. So running off with a knee, if you're late, you'll die. So just be careful if you're going for drop zones and stuff. You'll want to practice it. You can also drop with a back air and drop with an up air on this stage, but the window to jump is very tight. I think with up air you have like 3 frames leniency to survive. Back air is a little more lenient. Yeah, that's pretty good. So if that's something you're interested in doing, be sure you practice it first, or you'll die. On this stage specifically, you can scar jump and be able to cover more range with an edge guard from ledge. You can do this on stage by staying on stage and then going out there like this. But if you find yourself on the ledge, you can also do it on this stage. Basically making Firefox like not a good option for recovery. Yeah, but most importantly, small stages, you want to stay in the center, prioritize that, otherwise you just die and get edge guarded forever. And you want to kill people quickly by using the edges to help your tech chases. Help you set up guaranteed hard punishes. And also like pressuring the opponent to, and also comboing the opponent to death. For wider stages, I find tech chasing to be like more pressure inducing, and they're like easier for whatever reason. There's probably no reason for that, but it just feels easier on wider stages. With FD, like the raptor boosts at the edge sort of thing, they'll never land on a platform if you raptor boost somebody. So a raptor boost will, like past like 40 or 50, it'll reliably combo into other things and just end their stocks really early. So on FD, you can utilize the fact there's no platforms to kill people much quicker and have stronger setups. You can also do that on this stage because there's like a huge gap in the center. And near the edge, I guess. On wider stages, center stage is also good to have because like you'll just live 10 times longer if you are in center stage on every stage. It's just more important on smaller stages because otherwise you're gonna die very quickly all the time. Bigger stages and wider stages, you can afford to not hold center stage all the time and die more. But if you do hold center stage, you're gonna live much longer every stock, which is huge. It's also more important on wider / bigger stages to put your opponent at the edge, because at the edge is where people die quicker, especially floaties. Floaties can live forever, especially like the unedge guardable floaties. Floaties can live forever, and like Falcon's edge guard game is really good, and its combo game is really good, but like a 2-piece combo If they're DIing properly, they can like DI down in a way and like slide. They have like the whole stage to slide. But if they're at the edge, then they can't do that suddenly. If they try doing that, they'll just die. So you take away a lot of their defensive options by putting them at the edge. So if you're not yet thinking about stage control as Falcon, you need to do it, because it's very helpful. It's very important. Here's another like tech chase scenario with the knee on the platforms. From center you can just neutral jump to cover away, and backwards jump to cover in, and up air to cover in place, I guess. Yeah, that's it for the wide stages. For the big stages, so yeah, for the big and wide stages, you play them kind of similarly, and they're all good for Falcon. The wide stages, like, they don't have like as big of platforms to like help people get out of combos, whereas these round stages do. Yeah, on these bigger stages where the ground, there's like a lot more stage than for smaller stages. Like tech chasing people to put them at the edge is like pretty strong. It's like getting stage control through your punish. Like you can just choose to tech chase until they're at the edge, and then go for some stuff. And at the edge is where you have guaranteed follow-ups. You have guaranteed hard punishes, and then, you know, grab option coverage. Or if you do the raptor boost. So like in center stage, you can tech chase more, put them at the edge. I said that like 3 times, but that's to summarize. If you hold center stage, you can live really long. And on these round platforms, you can slide off of platforms to escape combos and stuff. You also want to make sure your DI is good to live longer on Dreamland and Battlefield, because you can live to hella %. Okay, final thing I'll mention. Is you can fastfall Falcon's up B. So those were fastfalled, that was non-fastfalled. Falco's gonna be my cameraman. So this is unfastfalled, and this is fastfalled. The higher you are, the more space you'll have to fastfall. And like Falcon's fastfall isn't as fast as like Spacey's fastfall, but it's still a good mix-up, especially if you do it higher. And you can potentially mix somebody up with it. Just recently, Westwalls played DK versus a Falcon at Evo round 1 pools, and there was like a moment where they had to like race to the edge, and the Falcon did a really high up B, but he didn't fast fall it, and he missed the ledge by like half a second. And if he fast fell it, he would have beat Westballs to the ledge and lived and killed him. So yeah, I don't ever see Falcons do the fast fall. Basically how the fast fall works is in this state, this animation with his arms out, that's when you can fast fall. You can't fast fall as he's going up. You can't fast fall as he's spinning. You have to fast fall it after he's done spinning. Yeah. You should be able to see a difference there. It might be a little hard, it might seem a little insignificant, and, you know, I don't guarantee it's going to get you out of a lot of edgeguard situations, but nothing really will as Falcon, so we'll take everything we can get. Alright, I think that just about covers everything I had planned. Thanks for listening. I'll be making more stuff. Analysis videos probably coming soon, if I could find a good way to set that up. See you guys.